Hey YouTube, it's me, Jen, your Pudgy Picker.
And Kim.
And we are here again for another podcast. Two sisters.
And one big gigantic booth.
Well, I don't know if I would call it gigantic.
No, one. I'll keep it simple. One booth.
There you go.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. Boring
Thank
side.
you. Stick to the script.
It's no fun that way.
So today we are talking about our toolboxes. Today I posted on Twitter a picture of the containers we use. We're going to go through them and tell you what is in them. These are toolboxes that we carry each week that have everything we could possibly need when restocking, straightening, rearranging our booth.
And if you don't have it, I have it. And if I don't have it, you have it.
Yeah, usually, or
We got it.
I usually bring mine once in a while. She won't bring hers, but usually, somebody's got something. So
That's for sure.
now, I will say that our mall has tools up front for us to use, but you know how it is in a household of 2 or 3 people or 4 people, how stuff disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Consider having over 100 vendors.
Borrow.
Yeah.
And forget to take back.
The owners are going to get to a point where they're going to have to chain a cinder block to each one, and like
the restroom keys.
Yeah.
We can't get it through the door when
Yeah.
you leave.
Yeah, it's that bad because I know I went up to get, somebody asked for a hammer when I was working up front the one day, and I looked and I said, it's not here. So we bring our own supplies. It's nice if you just run in and, I need to put a nail up or something. It's nice for them to offer that, but that's not really their job. It's to keep us, to have your own supplies. Plus, we were also talking about there are some cleaning supplies that are at the mall, but those are supposed to be used for
Cleaning the store.
Yes,
Not cleaning your stuff.
So once in a while, if you need to use a little spritz of Windex or something, that's fine. But those are there for the store to keep things clean. They're not for our personal use.
There you go.
That
Now
a good
that you
disclaimer?
prefaced everything.
Okay, well, let's first of all give them a little shake. Let's do a shake. So if you do follow me on Twitter under The Pudgy Picker, I did a picture of the two that we carry. They're very similar.
Yep.
We've been through how many containers?
Oh my goodness. I can't even begin to say.
These are the easiest ones. We've seen people use like a tackle box kind of thing.
Yeah, or the little miniature toolboxes. And
Yeah. So, it's whatever's easiest for you. You want something that's easy to carry and easy to get into and is going to hold all of the stuff that you need.
That's always the problem. It's like a purse. Is it big enough to hold all your stuff?
When I was little, and you gave me my first purse
You were
to carry.
little?
Yes, I was little once upon a time. And Kim gave me a purse to use, and I was tickled pink because my big sister was giving me one of her old purses to use.
Oh.
And I was looking all over for stuff to put in it. And I remember to this day what you told me.
Okay.
You're like, don't ever look for things to go in your purse because you're always going to have too much in there as it is. And I was like, wow,
sound reason. See?
Wisdom.
Even from such an early age, I was so smart. For
But I
my
remember
age.
that because I'm like, what else can I put in here? And you're like, don't worry about it. It'll fill up.
That's about it.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of go layer by layer here and tell you what I have in here. And Kim's going to kind of look through hers. And
I like the way the lids snap. Listen.
yes.
Isn't that nice?
So when you see the picture, you'll see basically what we have. People are still using them. Some people have even used like a zipper pouch, and they carry a lot less than we do. But I can honestly say I don't think we've ever had to go up front for something.
No, I think, in the old place, there was once or twice where I just ran in for something and realized, I should have brought my hammer. So, went out and borrowed it. But not very often. Probably less than 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and, easy enough. We're only like 3 booths from the very front. So it's not that big of a deal for us. But if we were like on the other side of the store, that would be a pain in the butt to be running back and forth.
Yes, yep.
So, okay, so the very top, I have my price tags. I have the sticky ones. I also have some clearance ones. or special, they say on top. So I always have my sticky ones. I buy them. There's 55 on each page. I cut the pages in half, and that's perfect size to fit in the container I have.
Yep.
And I also use these sticky ones on when I make my hang tags. So I usually buy 10 sheets at a time, so I never run out. And when I had to go through all that fabric from that auction, I didn't run out. I was really close and had to buy some next time I went, but I didn't run out, so that was good.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
I have my sticky tags. I have a bundle of hang tags. Now I have I think 3 bundles, but I keep one in the top. That's the one I use, and then when that one gets empty, there's another one, like a backup one.
Spares.
Yes, because you don't
Always
want to run
need
out
a
of
spare.
those. Now in the top, I also have I think 3 pens. That's what I have in here currently.
I never have enough ink pens.
Oh, never enough pens. And I also have a notepad. I don't use it that much, but it's those once in a while when you need to jot something down.
Mm-hmm. Like when we're getting ready to rearrange again or something.
Yes. And I have a little envelope that I wrote down all of the prices for my fabrics. If you've seen my fabric video, how I prep fabric for resale, I will show you a picture of it because I have quarter of a yard, a third of a yard, half of a yard, 2/3 I have it in inches, and then I have how much it costs. So when I'm bundling a ton of fabric like I did for that auction, I just had this sitting on my desk so that at a quick glance I could, decide how much I had to charge. I have some clearance signs in here that say clearance sale, only yellow tag items. So that's nice if we are doing some markdowns.
But now they're ones that let's make sure they understand, they're ones that you printed off.
Yes.
Because we didn't buy them, but on occasion, especially at the other place, we would run a table on sale or something.
Yeah, so those are kind of nice to have, and then when you're done, you could take them back and put them back in here. I also have some of those fluorescent little cutouts.
Like Starburst.
Yeah, that you get at the dollar store, and you can use those to put on something, and good price for $1. You get a whole package of them.
Yeah.
And I also have plain white sticky labels. So if I need to, label something, or like my earring cards, I put clip. I'll write a clip on there and stick it on the front so people can see that they're clip earrings. So that's what I have in the top. Is there anything else you have to add in that avenue?
Well, I also have the same assortment of tags, but I also have the larger tags that I use a hand stamp on, that are a handcrafted stamp. So anything that I handmade to take up there to sell, then I put this larger one on so people know that it's handmade, and then I put the adhesive sticker on the back of it.
Yeah. What size would you say those are?
Well, you know what? I just happen to have on that top
A
thing
trusty ruler.
a little bitty. What do you call these things?
Oh, they're like the
Not
little
a ruler. It's a tape measure.
It's a tape measure, but it's a
roll-up
smaller
tape measure.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. This was Daddy's little tape measure.
Uh-huh.
It's about 2 3/4. I'm trying to read it because it's got so many numbers and they're little. 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. So they're larger than the ones that we use otherwise. So
Yeah,
and some blank ones just in case.
I guess you could use the bigger ones if you maybe had more information or
Yes.
something to write.
Which I've done that with
Yeah.
something that has special, that I want to make sure the person understands the history of something or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So the bigger ones are, that's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
You know what? And I bought those for you. Do you remember where I got them?
I don't
I
remember where
had
I got them from.
mom and pop office supply place in my neck of the woods was closing.
That's
and
right.
they had boxes, and they're like, but $1 for the box. And there was literally hundreds of them in
I
there.
still have quite a few in
Yeah,
there.
well, you're good to go.
I
for
used
a
to
while.
remember at first I was cutting them in half for hang tags
Uh-huh.
till you could buy them up there.
See, now I cut mine. I cut them in half because our sticker fits on one half.
Yep.
I would keep the other
Other half.
half in here somewhere.
Yep, I was going to
And
say.
and I would use those for pricing fabric.
Yep. there
So
you go.
nothing
Nothing goes to waste. Let's see what I have. Some sticky adhesive, like label ones too.
Ooh, yours
that,
are pretty colors.
but yeah, they're in yellow and green and orange and pink.
Ooh,
You never
fancy.
know. I have Post-it notes and, in case you have one of those things like we talked about last week that you don't want to stick tape or the adhesive on.
Yeah, I have a little one that's just a little bit bigger than our price tags,
Yeah.
which is nice. Like we were talking about, if you want to put that on something that's fragile, or a book, or a paper, or album covers, or magazines. So you got that sticky, but it isn't going to damage anything coming off.
I also have an assortment of different colored, like 3x5 cards. And we would use those if we needed to make up a quick sign, a sale sign, or
Yeah.
or like I just took this, it's a beach cart, I guess you'd call it, what, a beach cart?
Yeah.
Where you'd hang your stuff on it to go to the beach, your chairs, your umbrellas, or whatever. And I made a hand tag out of that large to write on there what it was, because the average Joe's going to look at it and go, that is a wild looking thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's for, but so I wanted it big
Off-roading
enough.
life to your your grocery
Exactly.
shopping.
The wheels on that thing are huge. But that way I was able to write what it was and how, information about it. So you never know when you're going to need something a little bit bigger. And my tape measure.
Yep.
And I have a little utility knife that folds up. I guess you call it utility knife. That has a sharp point in it. And because you never know when you're going to need that. And then last but not least of importance on my shelf here, the first layer, I have a buffalo chicken recipe dip.
Well, that's by all means.
Who
we
can
can't.
leave home
Yeah.
without that one. And I did that because the last time we had to get together, somebody asked me for it, and I couldn't remember who.
And they
then,
never collected
and
it.
I never figured out, and they didn't mention it to me again. So I have it with me. So when they say, you never gave me that recipe, I'll go, here it is.
Yep.
All right, move on. Second layer.
Okay, because I just the top layer of mine is like half the size of yours, so I just have my price tags.
Well, my price tags I mentioned in one of the last ones I have in that
Okay.
little metal clipboard that closes up. So
I have some extra earring cards, and unfortunately, the reason why I have, let's see, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is because these ended up. I found them in my booth empty.
no.
Uh-huh.
Why? How did they? Were they multiplying? Because we know no one would ever take anything without paying
Yeah.
for it.
So a couple of these, I might, if I have 1 or 2 in here extra, that's fine, but I'll take those out. I didn't bother to clean my little kit out before.
Well, no, but this is a great time right now. I'm thinking to see.
Evidently.
Oh, just as a side point, when we're talking about these different types of labels and price tags and everything, we use those binder clips in different assorted sizes.
Yep.
To help keep them clipped together so they're not sliding around and getting strewn all
Or
about.
get tangled.
Yes.
I have the, what do they call them, bullnose ones?
Yeah,
whatever,
the binder clips. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have
different
2
size.
extra bunches of that. I have 1 little lonely zip tie. Not
Aw.
sure. All by itself. I have
Alright.
a super glue that is probably, listen.
Oh,
it's
you
like-
did it when you picked it up.
It's like all crackly. So this is probably hard as a brick. But the neat thing is, if you go to the dollar store, you can get they're little baby tubes, a whole card of them. So you pop it open, you cut the top off, you use it, and then you throw it away. Instead of having a container that dries out. So,
Disposable.
yes.
Oh, what a waste to the environment.
I have some black wire. And what I usually use this for is if I
Floral
have
wire.
floral wire.
Well, people understand better.
yeah, it's black.
on a
They have
card.
green, but this is black.
Yeah, and they
And
gold, copper. Silver.
The what I use this for is if I have something that has 2 loops on the back to hang something up, I'll usually just put wire or string across there, so I only have to put 1 hole in the wall to hang it up to display it.
That's because you can't put 2 in and get it level.
You know, you
I'm
gotta
telling
tell my
tales.
secrets.
It's like, why is this thing
Oh,
still
I'll
hanging
do it like 3
crooked?
times and I'm like, just forget it.
Look, there's some of those cut off bottoms like you were talking
Yep,
about.
there you
Got
go.
'em in a little envelope.
Okay, I also have light bulbs. They look like Christmas lights. They have the bigger end. And then I just bought a package of the ones you have
Yeah,
there
they're sitting here.
that have the smaller end on them.
no night light bulbs.
Night light bulbs. And those are not cheap. If
Well,
you get them at the dollar store, they're cheap.
yeah,
if
they're
you
about-
get them anywhere else, they're not cheap.
Well, they don't have as many as the other stores. These are only 3. These came from the dollar store.
but if you have
still,
anything that has a clip light that goes in the bottom, or you have any kind of little decorative lamps, those all take those light bulbs. So that is something we always use.
and you go in and it's done burned out.
Yep. Okay, I have a lot of batteries. We have a lot of wall clocks.
Did you see how many likes you got on your pizza clock on the last
I think
thing?
something's wrong with it, though. I'm going to have to fix it. I know.
Because everybody and their brother was liking your pizza clock.
I know. But I have 6 of the AA batteries, because usually the clocks take 1 or 2, and usually the ones that some of them take 3 if it's one of the ones that makes sounds.
Yeah.
So I have some batteries. I have some twist ties, because you never know.
Like bread twist ties.
Yeah,
They're the
or
ones
you
that come
get in
your
the
little
garbage.
plastic bags.
Yeah, so that. I have a chalk marker, which is good if we have something that has a chalk label. You're looking at me like you have no idea what I'm
No,
talking
I know
about.
what you're talking about,
Oh.
but those don't wipe off like you'd think chalk should, but that's okay. We won't go into that.
Well, we need chalk then. I don't know where I got these from. She has chalk.
In the little bag there, that was in my
I
list.
have 2 itty bitty little baby Sharpies.
Oh, aren't they cute?
Aren't they cute? They're gonna
Yeah,
grow up into
baby.
big Sharpies.
Okay,
So I
you
have
keep thinking
blue
that.
and I have black. I have an itty bitty little, like, Tupperware container, but it's for like a condiment. And it has all my little itty bitty baby pins that I use when I put the price tags on my fabric. So, and I buy those online, and they're literally less than $5 for like 500 or 600. So
That's cheap.
I'm good to go for
You have
quite
to wait
some time.
2 weeks for it to come from China. But
We have some Velcro, or should I say hook and latch?
I was going to say hook and loop.
We aren't supposed to
Yeah.
say that.
You're going to get flagged.
So we have had the industrial kind. We've actually affixed shelves to the wall. That's how strong
True.
that stuff is.
Good stuff.
I have the little. Now this is funny because I have a whole bunch of little teeny tiny little cards that I got that fit our. Yes, they're very small.
Let me measure
They
them.
fit our price tags perfectly, and that's what I put the tag on for our fabric.
They're like 1 3/4 by 1 1/4
Now,
playing
can you
cards.
imagine playing cards with these
I
itty
had
bitty?
some. I've always liked things in miniature, and ever since I was little, I had a little set like that, and I thought they were the neatest things.
You had
And then to
some
see
that
you
were a little
wasting
bit
'em.
bigger. They had a blue tiger on them, and I used to take them and throw them down one at a time down the vent.
In which room? The little room. That's probably why it's so hot in there. No air wants to come out in the floor.
Well, if you ever have anybody clean the furnace out here, you'll know. Oh, it's like all this confessions here. I have a salt and pepper plug.
Oh,
I don't know where I got it, but it's one of those.
What-
One of these days I will need
You
it.
know, I hold on to some stuff like that because we're always buying those that are missing.
Yep. And I usually won't buy them if they're missing.
But you can
Okay.
buy little corks for them too.
Yeah, I guess. That's too much work.
Some people don't care. They just want to buy them to look cute on their shelf anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And then I have a little bundle of string. So I'm not sure what that's for, but I think I was using it before I got the wire. So,
You never know.
and I have a key. I have no idea what it's to.
It's the key to my heart.
So I'm not sure what that is.
But you know what? When you come across the key, I never want to throw it away.
No, because then you'll
Yes.
realize what it is.
You
for.
know, exactly, when you don't need it no more.
Oh, that's dusty. Okay, you got anything else to add?
Well, we said the nightlight bulbs,
Yep.
and one of the stands we used to have out there that we just recently took out, the one that was holding our purses and fabric before this new setup, it had a place where you could slide a sign in because it was actually from a store. And I took the foam board and cut a piece to fit in there with the foam board, but then I painted the foam board with that chalk paint.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So we would put, different things, Jen and Kim's booth or, whatever. We had on there wheelchair accessible or handicap accessible ones. So, yes, I do have a small assortment of some chalk sticks and a tissue in a little zippy bag to write
Well,
on.
the chalk, keep the chalk, because that's, if we have something that has a chalk label, that'd probably be a better idea. Like if you get a jar, I'll put doggy treats and draw a little dog face on it or something.
Yep. And scissors. How many times do you need to snip or trim, or we were talking about adjusting the tags, strings on the tags?
Yeah.
You always need a little pair of scissors. Let's see. I have Scotch tape. I have two because this one has about one more pull and it'll be empty.
Yeah, I have tape as well.
I have DAP One Stick permanent adhesive.
I have a tube that's down to its last little bits, the E6000. I rather have the instant glue because you put it on there and it's a quick fix.
This doesn't take that long though. This one's pretty good.
You're sitting there holding it while it's drying.
Now, elevator music.
I have this tape. I have a tape. It's not one that reels up. It's a, what do you call it?
A seamstress.
Yeah. And that's dumb because
tape.
that doesn't, I mean, if you want to use it, you're like, oh, I got to coil it back up. So I have to get another one.
Lazy.
It's too much work. So.
I actually made a card from an old command strip card.
Oh my goodness.
And I have my little string wrapped around it. So she's laughing at me.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. It's totally useful. See, we get that from our dad. Our dad used to, he would save like toilet paper rolls and he would put he would coil up like an extension cord and it would fit perfectly. He always had containers for everything.
And that was before you could go on Pinterest and find those things.
Yeah.
He made them up
He was
himself.
the original DIY person.
Yes. I still, when I go out in the garage, sometimes will turn around and something will catch my eye and I just stand there shaking my head going, he was a genius. That's all there is to it. I have one of these, this is a Gold Star brand, Swift Tag. You buy the little plastic tags. It's like when you buy something at the store and there's this little plastic thing that holds the tag of the clothing on, and that's what this does. Sometimes with my handmade items or things like that, I used to use this a lot.
I have one of those at home, but I think the last time I went to use it, I was ready to just stomp it because something was wrong with it. If the needle gets bent, then forget it.
Any bent needle,
You're in a world of hurt.
I have a stick glue.
You better check that because I went to use mine and it was hard as a brick.
Mine's still soft and pliable.
Okay. Well, put it on like lip gloss. Perfect. It's just my podcast now. I have a little baby hammer, and the head is the same, and the handle is the same, like when you grip it, but it's much shorter.
Very.
So you can buy little baby ones.
You have the grip, and then a long piece, and then the head. Well, the head's there, and the grip is there, but the whole long piece in the middle's gone.
So it fits into our kit. You can also, if you get a cheapy one at a garage sale, because remember the one I had previous to this, it had a regular wood handle, and I took a hacksaw, and I hacked it.
Shortened it up.
Yeah, so, this is perfect because you always need a hammer, and like I said, there's 2 hammers up front, and there's over 100 vendors, and forget trying to find it, let alone, use it.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Sorry. Take after my mother finding a song for everything.
I also have a little baby scissors that are actually sharp.
Ooh.
No, it's crazy.
They're better than the ones I have that are the kids' ones.
Now, we don't really use these as much as we used to. They're the wall hooks that are like
an umbrella handle shape.
Yeah, and you you push it into the wall, and then the tall end of it, it like when you hang up something, it pushes. I don't know what the heck
It's
do you call
upside
them?
down.
No, you put them in the
okay,
wall
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yep.
and then they're like leaning against the wall.
Yeah, it puts pressure
I
on the
don't
inside
know.
and keeps them
These are
from
good for. These are good for
drywall.
drywall, not plaster.
Yes.
All the walls in my house are plaster. So I have those, but we don't seem to use those as much in our booth. So
No, we haven't yet anyway.
I have a lint roller.
Well, roll my lint.
There you go.
I have big Sharpie markers in blue, red, green.
Ooh, those are bigger than my little baby
Highlighter in
ones.
yeller.
I have a wire cutter and a needle nose plier.
Oh, that
nice
stuff
to
is
know?
handy.
Yes.
You should always have.
I have a
those.
little baby screwdriver.
and that's handy too.
And I also have a scratch fix furniture marker. So if you have a piece of wood that needs a little
Touch up.
a little inky doodle, there you go.
I have.
Ooh.
Oh, it's lacquer.
Boy, it
based,
smells like the old.
Oh.
Sniff it.
Oh man. Then we have another.
That's the
sniff of
kind
that.
you use
No.
board with a few of those. You're like, whee!
Yeah, in school you used to, write on the paper, then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a little flathead screwdriver and a little baby Phillips head.
Well.
And then I have an ice pick, and I'm not sure why I have
Hey,
that, but
that's an awl. It's
An
not an ice
awl.
pick. It's too short for an ice pick.
so it's
That one is called an awl.
a-
AWL.
Yes.
Is it? Correct me I'm sure someone will. I know a few people who are like the dictionary police.
Oh yeah.
So, they haven't followed me over here yet, but yeah, so that's for poking holes.
Open house. And then I have a nail file, which could be used for many different things, and some more of these clips.
Clips. Can't have enough clips.
Yeah.
I have candles too, the little votive
Oh,
candles.
you know what? I got to a point where I had so many things that no, those are tea lights.
Yes.
I had
votive
something that
candles,
had so many. I needed so many tea lights. I just went over and bought a couple bags and just came over and filled everything up.
Yeah, and then I have, well, this is a Singer brand, but you can get these just about anywhere. It's just a little tiny container. It's probably 3 by 5, and it snaps shut. And when you open it up, it's got different sections that I keep my safety pins in, and some paper clips because.
I use
Paper
way more
clips
safety
were-
pins than you do.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
you do
of
the
the fabric.
material in that, so I can see that. But just
Okay.
that I keep around for just in cases.
And then
I
I
gotta load
have
my
a container that has the 6 sections. And what I keep in here is you can buy these. They're just little S-shaped hooks. You can also, Kim had a whole bunch you made out of hangers.
Got a coat hanger. Yep.
Like in the shape of an S that we use to hang things on our shutter doors. So we always keep a supply of those because we're
Yep.
always hanging stuff up.
Always.
So I have a ton of those. And then I have more wire. Well, what do you call them? Like to hang pictures.
Well, yeah, that's picture wire that comes in those kits.
And I also have some sawtooth hangers, but what I really like is the ones that have the points on them that you could just hammer them straight in.
Oh, yeah.
So those are great to use if you get a frame or something that does not have anything to hang, anywhere to use,
Yeah,
so you can use
sometimes
it to
those
hang
little
it up.
wooden signs and stuff don't have them.
Because these have little teeny tiny nail holes, and
Little
that's,
teeny tiny nails.
yeah, and that's...
But you know what you
that
can
don't
use
work.
to hold the nails? A comb. Use a small comb and you stick the nail in between the comb.
You're just so smart.
I know. Aren't you proud of me?
Oh. Then I have
Smart.
a
aleck,
section that
baby.
has these C-hooks or cup hooks that have the wood screw ends, so you could just screw them and you don't have to tap them in. And these I use to, if we're adding extra hooks on the wood across the top to hang more
The 2x4s,
things. Yeah. So I do have a small supply of those. And I also, have another section here that has nails of all different kinds. we like a basic size, but some of them you need a head on them depending on what you're hanging up, and others just have, like, they're finishing nails. They don't have a head on them.
Look, I have a salt and pepper plug too.
Look at that, we match.
We have a set.
Oh.
I also have one of those that screws on top of a lamp.
Yes, a harp. A lamp harp.
Yes, I have one of those.
Got a few rubber bands. Some bigger safety pins.
Here's one like you're talking about that you hammer in.
Yes, I like those. Those are nicer. So I'll
Not
have
much
to buy
fun when
some
you
more.
stick your finger into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, look, I got a little cork in here too for one.
Aw. Well, I think I'm at the end unless you got more stuff.
Oh, well, I have more stuff because you talked longer, that's all.
Oh, listen to
That's
you.
the only difference. All right, so in my hand I have a hole punch
Okay.
because sometimes you need to punch a hole. Like if I'm using that bigger tag or whatever, then I can run a string through it and hang that string tag up. I have zip ties, smaller ones. I also have, this is string, but it's been cut to length so that I could make my own tag if I needed to hang things up. These, what do you call these? Little plastic command hooks.
Yeah, those are nice.
We've used those on the side of the shelves and stuff before to help hold little things.
Mm-hmm.
Another little hand, those things that go in the
Swift tags.
Swift tags. Those are for picture hanging too. They're like a cup hook, but they're smaller and there's a solid
So you can
round
screw them in the back of
piece.
the frame and then run the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always makes it
And then
easier.
these 3M, it's like a little foamy sticky, but they're in little tiny squares.
And they're double-sided, right?
Yes, they're double-sided.
You know, you never know when you're going to need those. Those are
well,
pretty
I'm
handy.
trying to remember why I got these originally, because we needed them at the other place for something, so I always have those. I also have this blue sticky tack to hang stuff on the wall.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Doesn't, supposed to not stick. Hardy, har. Ask me how well those work in a newly painted room. They don't. Does that give you any hint?
Well, if you got an eggshell finish.
I did. And Jason's new room when we painted down there, and I said, no tape, no nails, no staples, use this,
No
it's
push
safe on the
pins, no
wall.
nothing, yeah.
And guess what? He went to move something, and it ripped it right down to under the drywall. So yeah, don't get the cheap ones, get the expensive.
Ouch.
Little eyeglass screwdriver for those little tiny screws. Some rubber bands. These screws, I think, were left over from when we were putting
Oh,
the
yeah,
shelves
the shelves
up.
on the wall. So essentially, we're like the MacGyver of... we're like the MacGyver of the, what do you call it?
Yeah, this, well, that's one of the hooks that looks odd.
Oh, that's
plate
like
hook?
a plate hook.
Yeah.
You know, I do have those. I pick them up occasionally if I find them at a garage sale.
Yeah.
So I always have a couple of those on hand in case I get, you know...
We've used them in
Yeah.
the past for things other than plates, too.
Yeah.
I have a great big, I love this guy. It's a wire cutter,
You could do some real damage with those. Those my little baby ones are a little...
well, that's when we need to make hooks or something out of, I'm having such a hard time finding my words tonight. I told you I was tired. Coat hangers. When you go to cut a coat hanger, this guy will cut a
Because
coat
I would
hanger.
actually like to make, you know, several more of those, because those work better on the opposite side, the outside of our shutters, because of the way the shutters are.
Yes.
The shorter
They're at
little
a
S
different
hooks
angle.
don't work. Yeah, don't work as well.
And then my little baby hammer. Isn't
That's
he cute?
very
He's
baby.
a little tiny. Needle nose pliers, regular size Phillips head screwdriver, some hooks like you have, a little tiny adjustable, what do you call it? Like a little wrench
Oh yeah.
for
Aw,
nuts or
that's so
bolts. Isn't it cute?
cute.
So tiny. And then I don't know, screw all is what I want to say, but this
Oh.
was Dad's too. Do you see what it says?
Yeah.
Diamond Shamrock on it.
It's got like the different interchangeable heads, so you can.
Oh, I didn't even see it. It's Diamond Shamrock Housekeeping Award. Daddy got a housekeeping award. And
Yeah,
I didn't
Diamond
even know
Shamrock
it.
he used to work there.
But this,
forever ago.
it's an odd looking thing. It just fits in the palm of your hand. But the end of it slides out, and when you turn it, you have choices of 2 different size flatheads or a Phillips head, and then when you're done, you slide them back in and slide that down in, and it's got a ratchet.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yes, so I've been carrying that for a while and didn't even realize how important it
See,
was
now
to me.
we're familiarized with all the stuff we have that we haven't been using.
Well, it needed to be straightened up, so we got it straightened
So,
up.
you know, in your other people might have different needs or different things, or need to carry stuff that we don't have, or not carry stuff that we have. But that's just a basic idea of the little kits that we carry, and it has all of our supplies in there. So if we need to make a quick repair, you know, hang something up, move some stuff around on the wall, you know, move things on our shutters, we have what we need.
But the point is, this may seem like a lot of things, but we've been doing this a really long time. And believe you me, there is nothing in here that isn't here because we had to have it at one point.
Yep.
And that's why we started carrying it as a regular.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, it's nice to just have your own toolkit, and then it's easy. And like I said before, we don't really price things when we're there. We try to do that at home. You know, once in a while, if we happen to hit a sale on the way out to the booth,
Or picking,
or a thrift
picking the
picking
garbage on
something
the
off
way.
the side of the road.
Well,
yeah.
how many times have I done that? Shopped my way out there, and then it's like I'm taking it straight in.
Yep. So it's, you know, occasionally we price there, but for the most part, we have everything priced. But if we need to mark something down, or we find something that the price tag fell off, then we're able to take care of that with everything that we have. And since we have a little cart that we bring in that has all of our goodies in it, then it's easy just to throw that in too. So you just never know when you're going to need it, but it's nice to be self-sufficient and have what you need when you need it.
And in general too, because we've talked about just recently about wasted space in your booth.
Yep.
And a lot of people will keep their cleaning supplies and all these extra things there, which, if you have the extra room or it's that important to you, yes, but we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Because
we choose
again,
not to do that.
Yeah, again, we then you don't have to worry about people getting into it, stealing it, using it, not bringing it back, it being in the way, whatever. But also, I almost lost my train of thought there for a moment, derailed. I have this that I've been carrying in like one of those cloth bags that you get, reusable bags from the grocery store, because I usually bring in a roll of paper towels, especially if we're doing rearranging. I have a roll of paper towels. I have glass cleaner.
Yeah, that glass cleaner that you had that was in a metal. It was in a metal
Spray can.
a metal spray can.
Yeah.
And she brought it in, and I went to use it, and nothing was coming out, and it was ice cold. It
got left in
got
the car.
half froze in the car.
And then it wouldn't stop. Once you got the button,
And then
pushed,
once
it
I
wouldn't
got it, and then it's
stop.
going, and I'm like, it's still going. Yeah, so if you have cleaning stuff, don't leave it.
wet wipes too.
Yeah.
They give something a quick wipe if you don't usually clean it before you go, but you never know when someone brings in things that need a little extra.
A little TLC.
Or something you missed.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's nice to have, this stuff, and it is nice to have it when you need it. And it's one of those, well, I don't think I'll need all this stuff all the time, but when you need it and you don't have it,
man.
and you can't leave the item there because it needs a small repair or something's wrong with it, then you're wasting, you're wasting your time by having to drag it home and fix it, bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
So to have this stuff, it just makes life a little easier.
Yep.
So
Always be prepared.
Yep.
Isn't that the Boy Scout motto or
That's
something?
what they say. So I don't think we have anything else. We just wanted to kind of go over that, and if you decide to carry a kit, that'll give you some ideas on what you need to put in it. And we've had a decent amount of experience doing this.
A little while.
Yeah. So, I mean, could we condense down a little bit more? Probably. But I'm happy
But then
with
we'd be
what
going
we
up
have.
front and
Yeah.
borrowing things because we wouldn't have them with us when we need them.
And if you don't have your price tags and you need a price tag, they'll sell you a whole bundle or a whole sheet of them. But you have to pay 3 cents a tag if you need a hang tag.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come in and you're like, oh, I just picked this up off the side of the road and I'm going to sell it, but I need one hang tag.
Yeah.
You can at least
Which
do
is,
that.
it's nice and
Yeah.
convenient because I don't think that was available at the other place we were at.
No, it was not. So we hope you enjoyed this podcast. I know it's maybe a little bit difficult to visualize what we were going to talk about, but if you've been doing this any amount of time, you kind of understand why we have what we have in our kits. And if you don't, just carry your price tags and, and a pen and maybe whatever little stuff you need. And as you need stuff, just kind of add to it. A lot of these things you can find at the dollar store. And literally, we're right next to a dollar store.
That can be a bad
right next
thing.
to a Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
So it kind of does make it a little easier if you need to, run over there and, get a pair of scissors.
How many light bulbs
yes.
have we bought from there? Because we sell regular lamps and such too, so regular light bulbs. And those are easier to run next door and buy than try to carry a light bulb with you all the time.
Yeah, and we have electricity in our booth, and lamps do look better and sell better when they're lit up.
Yeah, especially if they have neat shades or whatever that you need the light on to really appreciate.
Yep. So that's all for this week.
Aww.
Not sure what we're going to talk about next week. We always decide after the podcast is done. So that's all we have. Please leave a comment down below, or if you have a question, we're going to be doing a question and answer podcast pretty soon. If you want to leave a question or a comment, but you don't want to leave it below, you can message me. My email is jen at pudgypicker.com. I had took me a minute to realize what I was saying there. We've had someone contact, I won't mention the name, but they contacted us and said, could they send us a few pictures? I forgot to tell you this. Send us a few pictures of our booth if we had any constructive criticism. So I think we'll look at that together and then we'll shoot her a message. But, if there's anything like that, we don't mind taking a look at it. Or if you just want to, ask a question, you don't want your name on it or whatever, that's fine. You can follow me on Twitter under the Pudgy Picker. Also subscribe if you haven't. You can click the little bell and you'll get notifications as to when I put up a new video. Yay! Yay! So, I guess that's it, huh?
I think that's it.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.